So day 15, and we're about 4 weeks into the school year. And so now's about the time where I start to really feel how much stuff I have on my plate. The to-do list, the checklist gets larger and larger. All the things that take us away from the classroom. I still to this day, my dad will say things to me like, you're a teacher, aren't you supposed to be home at 2:30? Or you're a teacher, why are you working on the weekends? Or why aren't you have more time in the summers and all these things? There seems to be this narrative, right, that teachers don't work very much and get paid for doing relatively little. And there could be more um, falsehood than that because I work a lot outside of school hours, both in the evenings and on weekends, as well as throughout the summer. And so I'm already starting to feel a little tired, right? And that's okay. I think, every teacher needs to find what their limits are. My colleague Randy Litzenberger is a phenomenal teacher, and he tries to make sure that he limits himself to one or two things outside of his role as a teacher in order to do that. I feel like I don't know, I'm right around like 10 or 12 things going on right now outside of teaching. And, it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of work. But everything I do, I truly believe is for the benefit of my students and our community here. And so I'm very bought into that. So I'm not going to talk about all of them right now, but I will kind of talk about a couple things that I've started that are on my plate besides teaching. Um, so know your limits, know what you can take on. Never compare yourself to somebody else to see how much they're doing. There's always going to be people in the building that have more capacity than you do to be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And that doesn't mean that you're not a good teacher or that you're not invested in the community if you don't measure up in your mind to these other people. They're just, some people have greater capacity or more time or things like that. You got to find your balance and find where it's at. So one of the things that outside of just teaching that I do, and I've mentioned this before with Race in the U.S., is that I am the district curriculum developer for that course for Race in the U.S. And so I've written a lot of the curriculum, building the master course. I've worked with some great colleagues on that, but that's been a driving factor of trying to build that. And ultimately, my goal is to build ethnic studies, as I mentioned in the previous video. I've also been the course developer for the Avid 9 class, the Avid elective class, and I was that for a few years. And really, in that role, you're trying to organize the other teachers that teach the course, and you're trying to get curriculum down in a place that's easily accessible. I think ultimately the goal of any curriculum developer for a district should be, can a new teacher take what you've made in whatever space it is and run with it and teach a class and feel confident that they have a good thread throughout the year and they can customize it and make it their own. But that's really up to them. So I'm still working on that with Race in the U.S. I really hope that we're able to get this to be a class that's taught at all of our high schools. We're at 3 so far. I think we'll get to the 4th one next year. But I really want to see that class expand. And, it is a class that's, I think, hard to be a curriculum developer for because, it's constantly responsive to what's going on. We are in a highly contentious time period right now, and there is a lot to talk about regarding race in the U.S. And so it's not just the history. We continuously are making history every single day. And so how do you make a course that's responsive to that, but then also has some curriculum that people can build off of? So still working on it. One of the things, starting to feel tired already this year. But students keep you going. My family support keeps me going. So I'm gonna keep on moving with it. So we'll see you on Friday.